today. Going to be looking at trying to get this fitted. I have already cut a bit off the bottom here just to make it easier. Currently what I've done is I put that on there, drew a line all the way round. Then I know you can't see it because it's black on black, but effectively I drew a line and then measured that distance and wrote it down in each place. So I basically, even when this is on, I know where the cut is in here roughly. I mean, we're still going to do a cut and butt, and we'll go, you know, if that's 70 mil, then we'll do like 65. So we're actually being, you know, we'll be cutting a bit more of this off. You know, you have to cut it off. You have to get in here. You know, we've put good quality epoxy paint on there. We filled in this piece here. That wasn't there on the original car. There was just some big lump of goop here. Same over here. We filled this bit in here. We've done all the repairs in there now. So we're getting to the point where this has to go on. The challenge, of course, is how do you get it in the right position? When I took this off here, I measured from here to a point here. That's 307 mil from there to this corner. And at the same time, it's 400 mil from here down to here. So I've got like a height and a position. Effectively, it's got to go butt up against it, but effectively that's what one measurement. So we've got that. You know, as per the other side, all the way around, you know, from about here, yeah, but you get a weld point here, spot weld there, and up here, and then the rest, all of that, all the way around, is just you know, seam sealant, tiger seal, something like that. So that's not really giving us an accurate point to work from. So we have got this point here. You know, I made this piece, I made the inner piece, out piece, and you know, you've seen the other videos all about that. So hopefully that is a valid point. Effectively, you know, we've got to come into here. So the only other point that it's actually touching, apart, you know, obviously we've got where we're going to cut it, there's this point here, which is a panel going upwards. But it is, you know, we've got to be in there. Yeah, it does curve. So we've got to be in there. You know, I might even tap that in just to make sure that, you know, just a little bit, just so that there's no way that it could be holding it out. Yeah, so that's it. And obviously this is bigger than the other side. And when, you know, the more you go out here, the harder it is to, you know, we're going away then. So this needs to curve more, and it doesn't appear to curve much more. So ideally we want to be around, you know, just a couple of mil inside of here is where I would like to join it. So if we go push that up in that corner, if we go with that point there, we know that point there is one of the ones we're okay with. And then up here is a point, just here. Now obviously that's not necessarily the right place, but close enough for now. And then this, as you can see, as that goes in, you know, we've got a lot of pressure, and you've got like a couple of inches back out here. So we definitely need to get that in a better position. You know, around here, it fits really nicely. And then as it's going up here, it's starting to go away to a big gap up here. And then as it comes around here again, you know, that's got to go in there somewhat. So you can see I've marked here, so we're going to cut up here anyway. So what I'm going to do now is use these measurements that I've got on here that you can't see, the black on black, and then just do some dots and give me a line, so at least I know roughly where I am, and then just go a little bit further out and go, you know, use that. So let's get this in somewhere close to where it should be. See, that's touching. It's touching all the way around. Yeah. Bit of a gap here, but that's the bit I made. And we're touching there. So what we can do, we can measure that distance in the middle of that cross there. That is, I'd say that's 31. That's 3 mil longer than it should be. But downwards, I'd say it's okay. So I think it needs to go potentially that way a tiny smidge if we can get it to go that way. Yeah, I'd say that's bang on. Yeah, hang on, that what I'm looking at is this tip right here. That is where the original tip was. So that's good. And although this is obviously a bit flush because we've got to go in, just here, the back, that this inner and outer arch, this this edge is actually touching. So it's pretty damn close. It gets a little bit further apart up here, a couple of mil maybe, but it's touching there. I think that is this bit of a twist that's in it. Yeah, pretty close there. So what I'm going to do now is measure all the way around and put those edges in. So you know what I'm doing, I've got this line and I drew that line all the way along. And so all I'm doing is getting the ruler at that angle, and this is in centimeters, so I'm actually going at 10 centimeters there. It says this number here says 72, so add 72, there it is. And this one says 70, so I realised I was going at a bit of an angle, but so effectively, as long as you're on this side of that line, we'll have metal that we can weld to. I think what we'll have to do is cut this out now, just a bit, like I say, just something like about here, that far over, just so we've got a little bit to play with, and have a look into how get this to fit a bit better at the top. Probably just by pushing on there is probably enough, but the problem is if you push here it probably pulls out here. So like with the other one, we might end up having a couple of stress relieving cuts, but okay, just got to get on and do it. The fact that it's touching all the way around there and all the way around there, and that's in the right place, that sort of says everything else is okay. What we'll do now is we'll cut that a bit wider, something like that wide, just do a curve all the way around there so you've got less metal to play with. Then try fitting it up again, see whether some of this tension is reduced, and go from there. Okay, so we've cut this much off. You can see just a little bit more than the original line, which is definitely pretty close in some places, but yeah, it's all good. So we got rid of this, we don't need all that. Yeah, it is good when yeah, you could easily have had more rot in here that you might wanted to have replaced, so having more is always good. So yeah, what I thought I might do is just show you how close this bit here is and over here. Okay, so obviously we've still got some stuff at the bottom there, but you know, that looks pretty close. But as we get up here, certainly starts to get you know, you get a gap up there, and then and coming around here, yeah, this fits, you know, really nicely. You know, tiny little bit there. I guess it's in the realms of fitting at the moment. You know, potentially we could put a little bit of a bend sort of along this edge. You know, take it off and just apply some pressure at both ends to get a bit more of a bending it at that point. But I think at the moment what I'm going to do now is try and do some fettling on that, get that to obviously we've got to cut it so it comes down and stops on this part here, where the original, you know, where the current metal sits. It's got to align with that. So yeah, we'll I think that's what we're going to work on next. Get that to fit there a bit nicer. And it's pretty close. Do a cut and butt there, that'll fit that in. There's a bit of a gap here. So we have a challenge there and a little bit here. What I'm going to do is take the angle grinder and get the paint off around here. So after some more fettling and drilled some holes for some plugs in here and here and in here, it's getting pretty close there now. There's only just a little bit of a bit there in this particular position. Obviously as soon as I unclip it's going to be all different. So you can see a couple of holes here, a couple of holes here, a couple of holes there, so we can plug weld it all back in. This side of it is bare metal, and if I just put it in, if I weld it up, put it in right now and welded it up, then obviously there's nothing's going to protect this inside. So I'm going to spray that, which means I can't go on. Yeah, I've got to obviously let that dry out, and it's very cold in here, even though I've got my heater on. It's very cold in here, so I need to warm this up a bit before, and warm the paint up before I put it on. So there's one other thing I want to talk about just before we close for today, because it's going to be tomorrow now. When I put this on here and weld that on, we're going to have this, which is, you know, it's just some foam, and that's touching where I'm welding. And I've got some history in the past of setting light to a car due to welding, so I don't want to do that anymore ever again. I was welding a safety belt bracket into the floor of an XJS, and I was underneath, you know, in a pit, and had some carpet, and I just, you know, pushed it out of the way, held it there with a screwdriver or something, went underneath, started welding, and the carpet fell back and set light to the inside of the car, wrote it off. So I certainly don't want to do that. So what I might do is just put, when this is on here, I might just put a couple of holes in I can get a screwdriver in, so that when I'm welding along this edge, I can push that out of the way. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it, and then obviously once you're finished you can just let go. It will come back and do its job, what it's supposed to do, and I won't set light to it, and I can just weld up the holes. So I think that's what I'll do. I was thinking about how to protect it, and that's what I've come up with. Obviously I've got fire extinguishers around everywhere, but like I say, before I even noticed it, the XKR, because it was inside, the door shut and stuff, it wasn't until I got out that I noticed it was in flames. Okay, so it is the next day now. Just came out. Should have put the heating on earlier. It's still cold, but it's a little warmer, a couple of degrees warmer today. As mentioned, have painted the back end, just some primer, but that's better than nothing. So yeah, we're going to get round to fitting it up today. Just tap that in to give me an extra millimetre or so, just to make sure that there's no chance of this pushing out and holding it out. I did drill a couple of holes, probably too big, but never mind. So I can push this out, which is all good. Yeah. Only thing is, I did notice there was a little crack there, so I need to just put some weld there. Okay, we're going to get to the point where we start actually fitting it in for the final time. However, this bit here actually turns under, and so although it's only going to be a tiny amount, this bit here will come up, you know, a millimetre for example. But what I think I need to do is to cut away that overlap so that this can actually go in its final place, and then we'll put the sealant on, and the seam sealant, and put the panel in its rightful place. Now I'm going to add some sealant around the edge. It's got to go up a bit and go up. Something like that. Outside of that. I don't want any of that to be causing it. Right. Okay, so here it is. Bit wider here, but never mind. So you can see it's tacked all the way around. Obviously went a bit wide here. Okay. Now it's basically a matter of filling in between. So I'll show you when that's almost done, and then we'll come back and once we've done the grinding. Okay, so that's the first pass of welding. You know, it's still bits that need doing, but I thought I'd just let you have a look. Yeah, we'll have some grinding now. Okay, so this is the first pass with an angle grinder, desperately trying not to thin the metal. So yeah, you know, there are a few holes to be filled. You can see it's sort of slightly, obviously you can see more here. This is obviously in compared to the out, you know, so it's sort of shrunk in a bit. But shrinking is okay. It's when it warps. You know, we've got a couple of little bits here. So yeah, it's a few bits. It's we're a bit high here. So yeah, we're obviously a bit high along the top here. There's some more grinding to be done for sure, but just because we've got to go back and fill in some holes, trying not to get too carried away with the angle grinder. Yeah, so we did have a couple of plug welds in here which I've ground down. You've got some horrible plug welds here that I haven't ground down yet, so yeah. Okay, so that's after going over it again. Just thought I'd give you a quick look before I put some primer on to protect it. Obviously still need to do those 2 holes, but that's it really. So yeah, the next video will probably be me preparing or looking for other bits to repair and then prepping for paint. Blimey, major step forward.